Why your belly fat isn't burning. You're eating less. You're exercising more. And your belly is the last place that won't change. That's not bad discipline. It's because belly fat doesn't respond to effort the way you think it does. You can work hard, eat clean, and still not lose belly fat. Because belly fat isn't waiting to be burned. It's waiting for the right conditions. Of all the fitness myths that have survived through years of marketing and social media hype, few are as bold or as misleading as the idea that you can blast belly fat. It sounds motivating, but it's not how human physiology works. Targeted fat loss, also known as spot reduction, just isn't something our bodies can do. You can't spot reduce fat no matter what the ads say. Your body loses fat systemically, not selectively. It'll decide where that fat comes from, not you. That doesn't mean you can't lose belly fat. You absolutely can. But this particular type of fat, known as visceral fat, isn't like the soft, pinchable kind sitting under your skin. It's the deeper, more dangerous fat that builds around your internal organs. And when left unchecked, it can quietly increase your risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, and even cognitive decline. The longer you carry it, the harder it is to get rid of. We're diving deep into why belly fat matters, what it does inside your body, and the how. What really works to burn it off? No quick fixes, just science-backed strategies. Why belly fat is more dangerous. When we talk about most body fat, we're referring to subcutaneous fat, the layer just beneath your skin. It can show up anywhere: arms, thighs, hips, or lower belly. While many of us want less of it for aesthetic reasons, it isn't necessarily unhealthy. Visceral fat is the problem. It's located further inside your abdomen, surrounding organs like the liver and intestines, completely hidden from view. You can't pinch it, but you can often see its presence through an expanding waistline. The issue with visceral fat is that it's biologically active. It releases inflammatory molecules and hormones that disrupt normal metabolism. That inflammation contributes to heart disease, insulin resistance, fatty liver, and even certain cancers. Studies have connected high levels of visceral fat to a greater risk of dementia, asthma, and multiple metabolic disorders. It's not just excess weight, says Dr. Kulkarni. It's an internal organ problem that changes how your entire system functions. How to tell if you're carrying too much visceral fat. If you wanted a precise measurement, a CT or DEXA scan would give you the most accurate reading, but those aren't realistic for most people. A regular tape measure is actually a great place to start. Use your waist-to-hip ratio. For men, the waist should be smaller than the hips, ideally a ratio under 1.0. For women, under 0.85. Anything higher than that increases health risk. You can also look at warning signs. Elevated blood sugar, lower testosterone, and even snoring can all hint that visceral fat is building up. As fat accumulates around the organs, it can even affect the airway, leading to snoring or sleep apnea. So, how to burn off belly fat? Developing belly fat is a bit like building up credit card debt. It starts small, but over time the interest compounds. Once subcutaneous fat stores become full, your body starts depositing excess energy as visceral fat, hidden deeper inside. But the catch is, you can't simply choose to burn visceral fat first, but you can create the conditions that make your body use it for energy over time. Here's how. You need to prioritize strength training and HIIT. A long-running study from Harvard University that followed more than 10,000 adults found that weight training was more effective than aerobic exercise for shrinking waist size. When you do resistance training, two powerful effects happen, explains Dr. Aaron Keller, exercise physiologist and strength coach. First, you build lean muscle, which increases how many calories you burn at rest. Second, tough strength sessions trigger an elevated metabolic response, so you burn extra calories for up to 3 days afterwards. Building muscle also improves how your body handles insulin. Visceral fat is closely tied to insulin resistance. When you build muscle, you restore insulin sensitivity, improving how your body uses nutrients instead of storing them as fat. That doesn't mean cardio is useless. High-intensity interval training, HIIT, has consistently shown to be one of the most effective methods to reduce visceral fat. Short bursts of effort, followed by recovery periods, push your metabolism hard and continue to burn energy even after you finish. Combining both strength work and HIIT is incredibly effective for long-term fat loss and metabolic health. In addition, increase protein and stay in a calorie deficit. Carbs often get unfairly blamed, but fat loss isn't about cutting one food group. It's about your overall energy balance. If you eat more calories than you burn, you'll store the extra as fat. But even in a calorie deficit, what you eat matters. Protein is absolutely essential. Aim for between 0.7 and 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight daily. Protein keeps you full longer, helps preserve muscle, and supports recovery. Without enough protein, you risk losing muscle as you lose fat, which slows your metabolism and makes maintenance harder. Hydration also plays an underrated role. Dr. Keller points out, most people simply don't drink enough water. Something as basic as consuming half your body weight in ounces daily can reduce cravings, aid digestion, and improve energy. And don't forget about dietary fiber. Fiber supports gut health, stabilizes blood sugar, and helps control appetite, says Dr. Price. Unfortunately, most people get less than half the recommended daily intake. Increasing fiber from vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains can make losing visceral fat much easier. This is very important too. Don't let poor sleep undo your progress. Here's something many people overlook: sleep. Even if you're training and eating well, poor sleep can completely derail your results. When you consistently get less than 7 hours of sleep, hunger hormones go out of balance, cortisol rises, making you store more fat around your abdomen, and leptin drops, so you feel less satisfied after eating. Research has found that people who sleep less tend to hold on to more visceral fat specifically, not just body fat in general. Subcutaneous fat isn't as impacted, which shows how tied deep abdominal fat is to sleep quality. Good sleep is when your body resets its hormonal and metabolic balance, adds Dr. Kulkarni. Without it, you're fighting biology no matter how disciplined your workout and diet are. So yes, getting your 7 to 8 hours isn't just for recovery, it's an active tool for fat loss. The key takeaway: belly fat isn't about vanity, it's a sign of how well your metabolism is functioning. Reducing it requires a steady, realistic plan, not a miracle solution. Focus on 3 pillars. Build and maintain muscle through strength and interval training. Support your body with protein, hydration, and fiber, while maintaining a small calorie deficit. Prioritize quality sleep every single night. Stick with these consistently, and your visceral fat will gradually melt away. No gimmicks, no overnight fixes, just metabolic restoration and real results. Because ultimately, the goal isn't just a smaller waistline. It's extending your health span, improving your energy, and building a stronger, more resilient body for life. Thanks for watching.